Alrighty, well, as they say, you have to practice to get better, right? That is exactly what I'm doing right now. First of all, I hope everyone is doing amazing. It's a beautiful day. We're still on the road to disclosure, and it's going to happen one way or another. I have two things that I want to share with you guys. First one is going to be basically a list of all the high-profile people who have disclosed information to us and let us know basically, hey, there's something going on. The next one is a moment somebody had with a friend who is high in the Air Force, who basically told him about everything that's going on and who aliens are, what they are. Pretty interesting, and it's a cool story, so I definitely want to share it with y'all. So this is going to be a list of people who have told us that aliens are here. There is a covert operation to basically put out disinformation. And yeah, okay, so we have Tim Burchett, U.S. Congressman. We all know who that guy is. He's the tip of the spear right now, fighting the good fight. We have Philip J. Corso, who's the lieutenant colonel in the U.S. Army. He made a book called The Day After Roswell, which is very fascinating. He was actually one of the head people who dealt with that. And before his death, he released a book and told everything that went down that day. We have Lou Elizondo, who is a U.S. Army Counterintelligence Special Agent. He was the head of ATIP. He was part of the reason why in 2017 those videos came out from the Pentagon. Haim Eshed, he is the Director of Space Programs for Israel's Minister of Defense, who, after 20 years of being in the force, he came out and said that there is a galactic federation. Humans aren't ready for extraterrestrial contact because we don't understand what space actually is. I'm not really sure what that means, but it's pretty cool. Then we have Timothy Gallaudet. He's the Rear Admiral, U.S. Navy, and former director of the NOAA. Then we have David Grusch. We all know who he is, former U.S. intelligence officer. Applaud. Then we have Walter Haut, who is the USAF First Lieutenant of Roswell. So he was part of the Roswell crash. Michael Herrera, U.S. Marine. He was the guy who basically had a crazy encounter in the Philippines where he was stopped by so he was evacuating people out of the area because there had just been a giant earthquake. So he was there as aid. They're in the jungle, they're on this hill looking down, and they see a craft in the middle of the jungle. So they go to it and they get stopped by these guys who are like in high-tech gear, basically a step up from him. So he's US Marines, he's got like the top of the brass stuff at the time. These guys had like the level up from that. They're all in black. They basically knew where his badge was. They knew how to unload his gun. They were military or something. They scanned his badge with some kind of device, and this was like I think in 2004, and iPhones weren't a thing, and he said that it reminded him of an iPhone. So they had some sort of high tech back then. They let him go, but what he saw crates being loaded into a UFO that was just hovering, and it was like a pyramid thing. It's a crazy thing, he didn't tell anybody about it for a while, and this is the kind of information that's starting to come out. Like all of these things are slowly leaking out. It's crazy. Paul Hellyer, Canadian Minister of Defense. Then we have Roscoe Hillenkoetter, CIA Director. Peter Hill-Norton, UK Naval Admiral. Then we have Bobby Inman, NSA Director. Colm Kelleher, AAWSAP Manager. Donald Keyhoe, U.S. Marine Corps Major. James Lacatski, Defense Intelligence Agency Program Manager. Wow, what a title. James McDonald, U.S. Atmospheric Physicist. Carl Neal, U.S. Army. Gary Nolan, independent researcher and Pentagon contractor. He's the guy who had alien material that he's been showing people. Bob Oeschler, NASA mission specialist. Harry Reid, U.S. Senator. Then we have Clifford Stone, Sergeant of the U.S. Army. Alrighty, so yeah, these are all high-profile people who basically came out and let us know, hey, there's something going on. I mean, you know, people say, oh, the government can't keep a secret this big, and they haven't really kept the secret, they've just denied. They've neither confirmed nor denied the existence of this, so something to think about, right? Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed that list. I apologize if I sound congested right now. I have literally the worst sinuses. It's a constant battle for me, but I try. Alrighty, so now we're gonna get into the PowerPoint. So, like I said, this is basically a story of somebody who has a friend who's in the Air Force, and they were chilling in the cornfields, you know, drinking a beer around a bonfire. All the wives went in, all the friends went in, and it's just him and the Air Force guy. He tells him, what's up? Hope you guys enjoy this. So the background. Guy became an officer in the Air Force after college, was there for roughly 2 decades, and all I know now is he is somehow affiliated with the DoD, but he won't disclose much. This year, he wasn't going to be able to make Thanksgiving, so he came up for a weekend to see family in October. We're out by the fire and everyone slowly goes in for the night. Me, a few beers deep, casual conversation. I mentioned how I think Arrow is a BS organization. He knew I had some interest in this stuff, but he'd never said anything at all until this point. It's now us two out in the backyard and close to midnight. Everyone else has gone in for the eve. Then he says, "Want to know the truth?" I laughed. I've got a good buzz going, and I assume he's joking, messing around, gonna hit me with a one-liner or something. But he doesn't. He just stares at me. I can only imagine how dumb I looked in that moment, like a deer in the headlights, and I'm still not 100% sure he's fucking with me. I respond, kind of hesitantly, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." In the moment, that's all I could come up with. So he answers, "Alright, I'll give it to you straight." I respond, "Seriously? You mean you know? Are you messing with me?" He laughs and just says, "I've missed this. Cornfields, clear skies. It brings me back, you know. You know what else is cool about the middle of nowhere? I know you're harmless. There's nobody else out here. No phones, no worries. It's rare I get to unwind like this." At this point, I'm kind of quiet, waiting for him to continue. He then says, "Here's the short version because I know you're passionate about this. There's nobody around, just us in cornfields." He then gets a serious look and starts, "So are you religious? Have you ever thought which one had it right? To lay it all out there, we know there's a supreme source or creator. Some call God, some call it intelligent design. The name doesn't matter, it's real. To understand what I'm saying, you have to accept this. This isn't a simulation, it's real. The modern version of science is corrupted and went astray the moment they overcorrected and completely eliminated spirituality with the scientific method. You can't have the physical material world without the spiritual world. Every planet is alive. They are gods. The sun is a god that resides over the celestial gods. To think of Jupiter or Saturn as a planet is wrong. Every star in the sky, to the paths the planets orbit, what we understand as gravity was finally tuned for life to flourish on this planet or God. The ancients, they understood this. There is an older civilization from that time that never fully died out." I finally replied, "Like Egyptians or Jews?" He continues, "Close, but no. Those civilizations came from this civilization. They taught Egyptians, Sumerians, and the like as they spread. They carried a lost knowledge." I asked, Okay, where are these people? He said, those people were before the fall of mankind. They were different, still human, but their genetic code, if you will, allows them to do things we can't. They're not aliens, they're humans. They live in the ocean, not outer space. And space isn't what people think of it as. The planets themselves are a living spiritual god. Once, long ago, they manifest physically as gods here. They lived among us. They taught us. They helped us. They are the legends of the old. All ancient mythologies were cultures interpreting what they saw. I felt compelled to ask, why don't they visit us again instead of flying in spaceships? He continued, those are not them. They are created sentient life forms, but they will never be like you or I. They lack a soul and are devoid of any ability to feel on that level. And the spaceships are not a spaceship, it's also a living thing. There are no controls, no engines, it operates solely from the mind alone. We've recovered them, we've tried to reverse engineer them, but you can understand how hard this process would be. Whether Indian, Sumerian, Hebrew, Egyptian, the gods existed. The big one we know of is Thoth. Timelines for Egypt is wrong, it's a known thing. The Romans actually officiated the gods with the planets, but the god resides over them all. They are from the spiritual realm, but we are actually the greatest creation of all. We are immortal souls in a mortal physical body. The body dies, but our journey doesn't end. The reality is, the whole point of a soul is to experience and learn goodness. We are on a journey back to the source of all, and yet we are a part of the source already, experiencing reality in a physical form. They don't operate with jet engines, bullets, and wings. They simply just are. They are not a part of the physical world. They do not operate by the laws of physics of the physical world. The aliens everyone thinks they see are a combination of actual gods and synthetic, alive but spiritually dead beings, essentially AI, that fly devices made by humans, different humans from a lost time, but humans. They are not from space, they are from here. I asked, why are they hiding? Why can't we talk to them? He continues, we have a few times. They are very spiritual and powerful, but they are not malevolent. They've interfered when we have started to destroy this god, Earth. We have approached them down in the oceans. They are peaceful, but they will protect themselves. We've lost good men to them before by accident. The high-ups in intelligence, DoD, Air Force, and Navy know they're down there. People who are atheists or think this all just happens by chance, the universe and its laws, the planets placed in the perfect celestial movements with no beginning or end is like time itself. Time exists to us in a physical body, but there's really no such thing. Everything will happen, is happening, and has happened. Most people are good people, even where I'm from, and the people I work with. The enemy isn't the government, it's the celestial forces of evil that inhabit and influence the powerful people that run the show to protect their empires and riches to the detriment of 8 billion people. They topple entire countries and create wars simply for their own benefit. I asked a few questions here and there, but that's mostly how it went. He then concluded, maybe I'm making this all up. Maybe you thought you heard me say it. Who knows? It's just us, a fire, and cornfields. But hey, it's getting late. I'll leave you to it. I know it's a lot to take in. I asked, are you worried that I'll tell somebody? He laughed. No. If you do, they'll think you're crazy. And if they believe you, they'll say I'm crazy. It's been nice talking with you. Get some rest tonight. And that was it. Just like that, I sat out there by the fire for probably another 30 minutes, just staring off into the night. Was he joking? Was he seeing if I'd tell people? Was he doing it to satisfy my curiosity? Did he just say fuck it and let loose for a few beers? I don't know, but I told my wife and she laughed and said, if he told you, it was the truth. I had to share because it's been on my mind ever since. Who knows? It's better than what we get daily from the same grifters, and it was positive. I like that. It wasn't scary or doom and gloom, we're all gonna die, etc. This is what I'll believe from here on. So that's a pretty wild claim, and honestly, it shares some similarities with what I believe is actually going on. You know, he says that Thoth, which is very interesting, and once you start looking into the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, it's basically him saying that he's helping society or helping humanity grow. And even in the Emerald Tablets, it says that they walked among us as humans, but unlike a human, but unlike a man. So this all, you know, seems pretty real, and if it's not, well, hey, it's good practice for me to do this, to get in front of the camera, do some FaceTime, you know what I'm saying? Just have fun, try and get creative with it. Who knows? Well, you guys, it was great chatting with you. I'm glad that I got this one done, and yeah, stay tuned for my next video, and I hope you guys have a lovely, lovely day, night, morning, whenever you listen to this. Maybe it's in the future and we're in a post-disclosure world, you know, who knows? Well, much love. Peace out.